Look, I need to be brutally honest with you right out of the gate. Your absolute biggest enemy in life, well, it isn't what you think it is. It's not the economy, it's not your competitors, and it's not even your bad habits. The ultimate threat to your success, your relationships, and just your overall happiness is actually completely invisible. It's a poison that you, often without even realizing it, actively invite right into your own mind. So in today's explainer, we're going to expose this ultimate empire killer.
Take a quick second and look inward. Seriously, if I asked you to name your absolute biggest, most destructive flaw, what would you say? Do you think your biggest pitfall is wrath? That hot physical anger? Maybe it's greed, that endless hunger to just get more money. Or perhaps sloth, that quiet tendency to just lay back and do nothing when you know you should be working. Well, history, mythology, and human psychology all point to a completely different answer, an answer that sets up the ultimate trap for us.
It's pride. Pride is the undisputed king of all sins. It's literally the mother of every other mistake you're going to make. You see, pride is that unseen hand that takes your perfectly healthy ambition and twists it into blind arrogance. It's that quiet, sneaky voice whispering in your ear, telling you that you deserve things you haven't actually earned. It convinces you that you are fundamentally better, more important, and just more deserving than the people around you.
Okay, let's dive into this and see exactly how pride operates as the instigator. Pride is basically the ultimate gateway drug to ruin, mainly because it fuels every single other destructive behavior on this list. Think about it. Why do we fall into greed? Because pride tells you, hey, I deserve to have more than everyone else. Why envy? Because pride says I deserve what they have. Wrath happens because your pride convinces you that you are always unconditionally right. Even sloth, laziness, stems from this arrogant belief that you are simply too good or too important to have to do the hard work. The whole shebang stems from an unearned feeling of superiority.
Now, I know exactly what you might be wondering. Wait, isn't it good to be proud of yourself? Isn't confidence a good thing? And yes, for sure. Confidence is absolutely crucial to navigate life. But pride, or hubris, is confidence's evil twin. It's the Hyde to your Jekyll. Healthy confidence allows you to trust your abilities while still taking advice. Hubris, on the other hand, stubbornly refuses to listen, flat out refuses to change, and absolutely will not acknowledge any weakness whatsoever.
So, part 1, the symptoms blinding the ego.
So how do you actually know if you're infected? Well, the most dangerous thing about pride is this thick mental fog it creates. It literally blinds your ego, making you completely ignore blatant red flags. A greedy person usually knows they're being greedy. An angry person knows they're seeing red. But a prideful person, they honestly believe they are entirely justified in everything they do. They start shutting down the people who actually care about them. The ancient myth of Icarus brilliantly illustrates this. His father Daedalus builds him these wings out of wax and feathers and gives him one simple, crystal clear warning. Do not fly too close to the sun or your wings are going to melt. But what does Icarus do? His pride kicks in. He pulls a Top Gun Maverick maneuver and heads straight for the heat. In that moment, he truly believes he is completely above natural consequences. It wasn't ignorance that drowned Icarus in the sea. It was his absolute refusal to listen.
And we see this exact same pattern everywhere in our culture, from classic literature to modern blockbusters. Take Dr. Victor Frankenstein. He started with noble intentions to create life, but his pride gave him a massive God complex. He dismissed every single moral red flag because he thought his intellect placed him way above natural law, and well, it destroyed him. Or look at Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. He's literally dying, but instead of just asking his friends for help, his ego makes him drown in reckless denial. He convinces himself he can fix everything completely alone. It takes nearly losing his life to realize that arrogance isn't a superpower.
Let's look at Shakespeare's Macbeth to see how this builds. Macbeth is explicitly warned about his enemies, but a prophecy tells him that no man of woman born can harm him. Because of his pride, he takes this cryptic little warning as proof of ironclad invulnerability. That's what pride does. It actively replaces reality. It makes you distort the truth to fit your own narrative, turning your greatest mentors into annoying naysayers, and tricking you into believing that the rules of the universe just don't apply to you.
All right, let's move to part 2, the diagnosis, the delusion of superiority. Why exactly do we fall into this trap? If you dig down deep enough, past all the boasting and the arrogance, you actually don't find strength. You find a deep, terrifying well of insecurity. We desperately need to feel superior to hide how inadequate we actually feel. And this brings us to narcissism. Narcissism is really just an extreme form of pride, but psychologists will tell you it's deeply rooted in profound feelings of inferiority and poor self-worth. Think about the people who constantly need to put others down, the people who love to gossip about their neighbors, or those internet mobs completely obsessed with canceling someone over a mistake. On the surface, it looks like a crusade for justice, but in reality, it's often just individuals trying to conceal their own deep shame by standing on the neck of someone else.
The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer dropped an absolutely devastating perspective on this. He pointed out that the cheapest sort of pride is national pride, or honestly, being wildly proud of any group identity you were just born into. He argued that people who have absolutely zero achievements of their own use the accomplishments of their nation, their race, or their group to essentially reimburse themselves for their own inferiority. It's a harsh truth, I know, but it forces us to ask, what have we actually earned ourselves? Which naturally brings us to the great myth of the self-made individual. If you're highly successful, your pride desperately wants you to believe you did it 100% on your own. But let's dismantle that ego for a second. Where were you born? Who paid for your early education? What lucky break did you catch that someone else, working just as hard as you, completely missed? The truth is, our accomplishments are built on a massive foundation of fate, luck, and the invisible support of others. Taking sole credit for your success is, quite simply, a delusion.
That brings us to part 3. Pride's unexpected disguise, the center of the universe.
So there is a massive blind spot we need to uncover here. Pride doesn't always look like the loud, boastful billionaire or the arrogant king. Sometimes it hides in the shadows, looking a whole lot like weakness, making you believe that you are the tragic center of the universe. Take a character like Shinji from the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion. He is constantly wallowing in paralysis, self-hatred, and misery. But what is that really, if not a disguised form of pride? Believing that your pain is more profound than anyone else's, believing that your misery is completely unique, and that no one could possibly understand you, that is incredibly self-centered. It's the belief that you are the sole tragic protagonist of reality. Wallowing in self-pity is literally just pride wearing a different mask. Which leads us to our final section, part 4, the cure, humility and dignity.
Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we cure the ultimate empire killer? The only real antidote to this poison is stepping back, swallowing that massive ego, and learning how to truly embrace humility and dignity. It's the only path forward. Look at the greatest character arcs in storytelling. They all chart this exact path back to the light. Think of Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender, finally bowing to his uncle Iroh, admitting he was wrong and letting go of his toxic entitlement to his father's throne. Or Boromir in Lord of the Rings, realizing his pride corrupted him and choosing to sacrifice himself to atone for his mistakes. Admitting your faults doesn't make you a doormat. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you a wiser, more resilient human being capable of genuine leadership.
And history proves this out perfectly too. Look at the stubborn leaders who let pride drive them right off a cliff. Julius Caesar ignoring the explicit warnings of his assassination, or Napoleon arrogantly invading Russia in the dead of winter just to satisfy his ego. Now contrast them with true historical strength. George Washington willingly surrendered ultimate power rather than become a dictator. Abraham Lincoln put aside his own massive personal grievances and ego to hold a fractured nation together. They surrendered their pride for something greater than themselves.
So the absolutely crucial point is this. What do we replace pride with? We replace it with dignity. Dignity is a quiet, unshakable self-respect. It means valuing yourself as you are, built on a stable foundation that doesn't desperately rely on being better than the person sitting next to you. It means knowing you have worth, independent of your job title, your bank account, or any of those ephemeral accomplishments that can literally vanish tomorrow.
I want to leave you with a direct and maybe slightly uncomfortable question to ask yourself today. Are you chasing validation or are you chasing growth? Are your daily actions fueled by a fragile, desperate need to prove to the world that you are the absolute best? Or are you fueled by a genuine, humble desire to simply evolve, learn from your mistakes, and become better than the person you were yesterday? Those who fly too high on the wings of arrogance are always going to fall. But those who balance their ambition with true humility, well, those are the ones who truly reach the heights worth aiming for.